Welcome to the Daily Sports Podcast, weekly podcast. Today we are coming World's End, and the review of it. I have to tell you, I told you so. Oh boy, did I tell you so! I told you so months ago in a short that I made. It was Cole, and none of you people wanted to believe me. They all said, "Oh, all different conspiracies here. Oh, it might be Swerve, right? It might be Wardlow, might be a leader. Well, Wardlow's in the group, but he ain't the leader. It's Cole. It is absolutely Cole, and I was right. This guy, journalist, my ass.
What? Okay.
Anyway, let's just get into this though. I'm Andrew, excited as hell for this. World Ends was a really good pay per view for the most part. The biggest climax came with the end match with MJF. Uh, some shockers, but also not really any shockers. I think. But Doug's over here with me as always. I want to know what you think right now, sir. Talk to me. Talk to me. Tell me how great I am, how smart I might actually be.
Oh, listen, I inflate your ego on a daily basis sometimes. So,
Yeah.
um, I'm good, man. So yeah, the devil, I said it last week when we were going through it. I only said it was Wardlow to be different
Fair enough. Just saying though.
because it was way too obvious to be Adam Cole.
Well,
And
yeah.
and when you I saw this like 2 minute thing someone put together with like comprehension clips
Yeah.
in the bottom corner
Yeah.
where there's a legit reason why people were taken out. Specific
Yeah.
Adam Cole takes out Jay White because Jay White and him used to be buddies,
Yeah.
and then he started um fucking with Max.
Yeah.
So Adam Cole takes him out.
Yeah.
The Acclaim got taken out because they got too close.
Yeah.
And then, like, at the end of the day, it all made too much sense. And we both, we could both, we could both see that, especially once, like, the Masked Devil guys started being on TV.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Mike Bennett, he has a very distinguishable head.
Yeah.
He's got a forehead about a mile long.
Yeah.
So, I mean, once you figured out that that was probably Bennett, his partner was probably Taven.
Yeah. The whole
You
stuff
knew,
of the whole stuff with Roderick Strong was like way too close too, because he's like, Adam. Like he was
yeah,
just making it obvious almost that he was the
but
devil.
again, like, well, Roddy and Adam go way back to like Ring of Honor, like almost 15 years ago at this
Yeah.
point.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when you think of that connection,
Yeah.
it it makes all perfect sense. And
Mm-hmm.
now, actually, I just want to bring this up briefly for anyone who didn't see it Friday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
MJF wrote a wonderfully written article on the Players Tribune,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't look at as often as I used to, but there's some really good stuff on there. And Max wrote like almost like an open letter type deal.
Mm-hmm.
I I think we're not going to see Max until the summer when he's healed up.
Yeah, it's very interesting too because Max apparently has been removed from the AEW roster on the main page.
Because they're selling the fact that he's not under contract anymore.
Yeah, that's what I think. Like I said,
And whether that's legit or not, I don't know. I know you've gone on record and said you think he's already resigned. I think a
yeah,
lot of people think he's already resigned.
yeah.
Um, Me personally, I think that money talks.
Well, money talks and bullshit walks, but
Right. Now, Max has become the face of AEW.
yes, absolutely,
The
yes.
only the only way he leaves,
Mm-hmm.
and if this is legit and he actually like just dropped the title 2 days before his contract expires,
Yeah,
which by the way, if you want to start throwing the whole I told you so into it, okay? I told you so back in the summer, sir.
yeah,
I told you he was going to lose it on the last show of the year.
yeah. But he also said it was always going to be able to go to Kenny Omega.
That's true. And
Yeah.
that match did happen, but it was about a month ago.
It will be. But let's not enough of fleeting each other's egos right now. Let's get to the match card. So we predicted originally about the battle royal, and that was on the open
The 0 hour.
0 hour. And you know what? We didn't really care about that. But it turns out
Luchasaurus is back.
Luchasaurus back. He won the battle royal. And
he's Kill Switch now.
Kill Switch, yes. Luchasaurus Kill Switch. I don't know why they changed the name. But anyway, that comes into play later on the show. Also in the 0 hour was the Hook match versus who was it again? It doesn't really matter. Hook won.
Yuta.
Yeah, Hook won, and you got pissed off and acted like a little bitch. Whatever. Anyway, to the main card. Main card started off with the 8-man tag of the Continental Classic members. So it was Brody. It was Briscoe, Brian Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Daniel Garcia versus Jay White, Brody King, Roosh, and JL. Oh yeah, what's the hell's his name?
Jay Lethal.
That's it. Thank you. Sorry, it's been a long day.
That's okay.
So nothing really spectacular. It was a decent match. It was okay. It is what it was. It was an opening card match. It was
Faces
a blah. Faces won, yeah. Faces won. It wasn't anything crazy. Nothing really spectacular. It was kind of just like.
Is the next match you're about to talk about the Swerve match? Because this is very interesting.
The next match is actually going to be the next match on the card was the Miro versus Andrade match.
Which there's rumors that he's like literally WWE bound as soon as like this week.
It's imminent, yeah. So Andrade lost the match with a little from Miro, with a little help from CJ Perry. She was kind of managing him a little bit here and there, and a kind of weird storyline that's going on. He went off on his back, and from what I understand, his contract is up, and he, as you said, is imminently bound for WWE. My guess is he didn't show up on. My guess is he's going to show up on SmackDown, where Charlotte is. Because that's where she is.
He wasn't on Raw tonight.
No. So I'm pretty sure. So when he's SmackDown, we'll probably end up talking about Andrade's return to the WWE. He is a Triple H guy, and Triple H did do some very well when he was running NXT. So it'll be interesting if they're going to keep that gimmick of the whole. I kind of like it, the whole black mask thing from Batman. It's kind of cool. So we'll see what happens with that. Miro won that match. Next match on the Storm was AEW original, I guess you want to call her, Riho and Tony Storm.
Tony Storm retaining.
Tony Storm retained. It was a good match.
Tony Storm jokingly at the press conference. I just saw a clip of this today.
Yeah, calling out what's her hell's
Wendy Richter.
That's it. Yeah. She's like a 70.
She's got to be about that, man.
Or she's passed on. I don't know the other, but it was just everybody got a good laugh at it. It was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Next match, that was there. Next match though, the one you wanted to talk about,
right?
Swerve versus Dustin Rhodes, which was originally supposed to be Swerve versus Keith Lee. So
Keith Lee, about 2 hours before showtime, he put out a tweet talking about how he's been working through an injury since Grand Slam last year, when they lost the titles to the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
Him and Swerve.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he's going to try and work through it. And then next thing you know, Tony Khan puts out something that Keith Lee's not cleared by doctors.
Yeah.
And he's going to be replaced by his current tag team partner, Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming Swerve won that.
Swerve won that match. It started off with basically like a pre-match, beat the hell out of him with a cinder block, and he magically got up Dustin Rhodes and fought wrestling well, and he lost. I think everybody knew that was, but as he left, he was making signals of him going for the title. So it looks like he might be in place for a title shot, maybe sometime in the new year.
They may send him. They may send him to be the guy that finally dethrones Christian.
Yeah, could be. Because we'll get to that match too, because that was really interesting, actually. So first off, I just want to say, I was going over our picks for this, and
How good did I do?
you got 1, 2, 3 wrong. I was right on everyone.
Oh, cool.
Inflate that ego a little bit more. Casual wrestling fan, my ass.
Hey, there's your inflation.
Hey, that's not very nice. You're number one in my books, too.
You know what? And since we're dealing with inflation, here's another one.
Hey, I just made $2. All right. So that match was a good match, but I think everybody saw Swerve. As soon as I think everybody's gonna pick Swerve to win anyway. Like, I know you did. I definitely did as well too. There's no way Swerve was gonna lose that match. Then after that was the 8-man tag match. It was the Sting match, okay? The Sting 8-man tag with Darby Allin, Jericho, Rivera, and the Cal. Now,
do we address the elephant in the room with Jericho? Or do we wait?
Well, you know what? So during that match, let's get really quickly here. That match wasn't really anything special. Everybody kind of knew Sting was going to win that match. Like Jericho put in a lion tamer, I think, and Jericho ended up winning. I think it was, or Sammy pinned. I can't remember who it was. It doesn't really matter. It was a throwaway match, folks. Nobody really cares. It was just one of those matches. But since you're on the topic of Chris Jericho, the so-called sexual harassment conduct that apparently has been shot around about Chris Jericho involving a former AEW original, Kylie Ray. Not to be confused with Kaylee Ray, that is now in NXT going under the name Abby Fire.
Yeah, so Nick Hausman, I believe this was late Friday night, because I was reading about all this stuff Saturday when I was at work.
Mm-hmm.
Late Friday night, Nick Hausman decided to kind of throw this out that apparently sometime in 2019, and this is all, I'm going to stress that magic word, allegedly. He used the term, Jericho made advances at her, and it led to her leaving the company.
Mm-hmm.
Now, nobody else has said a fucking word about this. Tony Khan was asked about it at the presser.
Yeah, he did address it about his code of conduct they have.
And he basically said the same thing he says every time there's an unverified internet rumor. I don't speak on unverified internet rumors, but he stressed how safe AEW is, and they have like an open door policy type deal with Tony himself. And I mean, if it's true, Jericho needs to be fired. Period. If this is bullshit, oof. I mean,
there's a little thing nowadays. You look,
Nick Hausman will be looking at a lawsuit if it's even remotely fabricated.
Well, that's just it too. And the thing is, though, the definition of sexual harassment nowadays is, I don't know, it's almost got a little skewed a little bit. I mean, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there, right? I don't want to speculate on what apparently happened, but it could be something as little as something silly, or it could be whatever, or it could be somebody just blaming something. I don't know. There's a little thing nowadays, though, you actually kind of need. It's called evidence and witnesses. And if you don't have, and if there's no witnesses and no evidence, it's just the rantings of somebody who got let go.
And I guess the thing that Hausman said, now this did kind of play into the match, because people, like, I guess Ricky Starks flipped the bird at Jericho and refused to work with him.
Yeah.
At least that's what I was reading on X. And then also the crowd was chanting NDA at Jericho.
Yeah,
Uh,
because he didn't sign no NDA disclosure thing.
no, I don't know, and
Yeah.
I think the timing of this is really weird because apparently Nick Houseman's been sitting on this information for 5 years. And if that's the
Well,
case, he's just as much of a piece of shit
if
as
it's
Chris Jericho.
if it's 5 years, that means I think
It,
it happened when AEW first came into existence.
yeah, exactly.
Like, and it should have been dealt with then.
Right.
So yeah, it sounds like it could just be rantings and ravings of somebody who has a problem with possibly. I mean, I don't
I,
know. I don't know. I don't want to make any assumptions
yeah,
on that because I don't know, but it could be a lot of things, folks. And quite frankly, if it is a lot of things, then who should? By the way, if you like the video, like, share, subscribe, folks. It really helps the channel out a lot. Helps us a ton, gives us allows us to bring us more content and motivates us more to do more things. Right, Doug? Motivates you a lot more. I think, but bloody well should. Anyway, uh, back to the wrestling. Next match of the card was Julia Hart versus Abaddon.
your girl.
My girl Julia Hart, my top number 10 in my top
Good,
10.
good
Uh,
moonsault.
she's a great moonsault. Really good match. A lot of fans were pretty into it. How because like Julia Hart's kind of a spooky character, almost like a witch of the House of Black, and they have Abaddon, who's the living dead girl.
Yeah.
So it looks like,
I believe, and I've heard this before. I believe Abaddon prefers to be referred to as they.
yeah, I don't know. I
I
don't know.
I'm 98% sure on that. But
You're probably right. I will give you that.
my point is like, this was not going to be a high profile match,
No,
obviously.
no.
Abaddon hasn't been used. Abaddon has rarely
Sparingly at best.
and and sparingly might even not even be the word for it.
It's true.
But
But
like they have disappeared off television basically for the last 2.5 years.
yeah, like I
And
said, she was on Dark a lot when it was on, and I think she
right,
might do. I think she does a little bit more Collision nowadays or Rampage. I think.
that's
I don't
good.
watch a lot of things, so I'm not too sure. But
That's good.
everyone seemed to be into the match though, right? They're all chanting "spooky" and all that stuff and having a good time, and like a little shenanigans in it. Sky Blue came out and kind of interfered in the match, but anybody knew that Julia Hart was going to win that match. She's not losing that title anytime soon.
Mhm.
At least not. Anyway, next match on the card was Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland. Now this one here. Now I picked Edge to win, which I was right on, but you
So
picked
did I.
Christian to win.
I
So
did.
so it's almost like a draw because I did win
Wait,
that correction.
I picked Christian.
You picked Christian to win.
Okay, so I'll take the L on that because he lost the initial match.
He did.
But then, like you alluded to a few minutes ago,
Yes.
out
So
came Kill Switch, and Christian made Kill Switch give Christian the uh, contract for the TNT title shot anywhere, and he cashed it in and beat Adam Copeland to regain the TNT title.
yeah, it was very interesting how that happened. I can see Killswitch eventually going back to Luchasaurus and turning against Jericho for some odd reason. I just see that happening down the line.
Christian.
Christian, sorry, right? I can see that happening down the line. But
Yeah.
you know what?
I
Like
don't think that.
overall, though, that was a really good match.
Yeah.
Like I said, Luchasaurus came in. Sorry, Killswitch. Forget about it. It's Luchasaurus in my book right now. Like he came up, stuck it behind Edge after Edge won, and Bastard just pulverized him, and then he was about to cash in, like that's their money in the bank.
Yeah.
And Christian came in and said, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa," and talked some kind of yitty to him, like just a little bit of voodoo magic or something. And he gave, much to the chagrin of Luchasaurus, gave him the contract, and Christian won with the spear on Copeland. Yeah, he didn't look like a winner going out though, but yeah, he kept regained the title. So Adam
So
Copeland was the
Copeland
champion.
was for how long? About
5
2 minutes?
seconds. Oh, 2 minutes, shortest reign in history. Amazing how a guy who's had a career like him now has a 2 minute title reign under his belt.
Hold on. I'm trying to think. He might have had a shorter title reign in WWE
Maybe
with one of the tag titles.
it's possible. It's a lot to
But
go through. That's 20 years of history you have to go through on that one. That's a lot.
I know. I'd have to go back and
Um,
look at it.
so I guess fan favorite match tonight, it came down to Eddie Kingston versus John Moxley. For the
I was right, wasn't I?
you you chose Eddie Kingston, yes, and I chose Eddie Kingston as well.
Because it made
Of
sense.
course it did. It made the most sense for Kingston to win. But I even said in our preview show, Moxley doesn't need it.
It's not even erase Mox out of this.
Yeah.
When you look at the journey of Eddie Kingston in AEW,
Yeah.
and you look at Eddie Kingston's career as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay. And Moxley pointed this out on Dynamite. Like, you always get too close and then you beat yourself.
Well, as Eddie calls himself, the king of the bums.
Right. And once Mox delivered that promo, I knew Eddie was going to come out of this. And I love how they're getting over that spitting back fist as a finish.
Yeah.
Because they were exchanging. Yes, I know it was like probably 15, 20 minutes into a match, but they're exchanging as if they're about to ramp up into another gear, and boom, that quickly. And he beats Moxley.
Yeah.
And that crowd fucking went nuts.
Yeah, it was a really awesome moment for Eddie Kingston to see, for fans to see who followed Eddie Kingston his entire career, to get that recognition. And
Did they do any like
they at the end of the match, Moxley and Kingston embraced in the ring, and you could tell Moxley was really happy to put over his friend of numerous years. So it was really nice to see. That led to the main event.
Max's entrance was fucking awesome.
It was really good. It was really good. I had to go back and watch it twice before.
The video that played before it was almost like he was running for mayor or something like that. And
it was really cool.
It reminded me of like one of those old politician campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's a scumbag. He's a scumbag, yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool. Joe dominated a lot of that match, to be honest with you.
A muscle buster on the apron with Max in the condition he's in.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, we should point out before the match got started, Adam Cole came down to the ring.
He did. I saw it. That's where I kind of looked to go, this is where you're going to see something's going to happen here. This is where it's going down for sure.
The thing is Tony Khan himself said on the media call, which was, I think, Thursday.
Yeah.
Or Friday.
Mm.
He said on the media call that it was basically going to, the story was going to, the devil was going to be revealed at World's End.
Yeah. Now, how that came to be was interesting. So Samoa Joe
finished with the match.
Yeah, so they finished the match. So Joe dominated the match, but a lot of the match, to be honest, eventually put him away with the Covita clutch, put him down, tapped out Max. Basically, he won.
He passed out.
Sorry.
Well, we're not calling. No, Max doesn't tap out. What are you talking about?
He passed out. Anyway, so Max went down. Joe wins the title. He's not celebrating in the ring very long because he kind of had to get out because this was going to happen. So Cole comes in the ring, right? And all of a sudden, the Devil's men come around. And they all get in the ring, and they're about to face off. Cole and MJF versus Cole versus them all. They get into it. They have holding Max. They're holding Cole. They're threatening to hit Max with the chair. Cole says, "Hit me, hit me, hit me." And Cole is just, all of a sudden it goes dark.
Right as the person was about to hit.
Yeah. Right. And all of a sudden the lights come back on. The four devils are standing right behind a sitting Adam Cole. And Adam Cole looks at his head and starts smiling. And everybody takes off their masks to be revealed as Michael Bennett,
Matt
Taven,
Roderick Strong,
and Wardlow. And Adam Cole's right there too. And they all basically take out Matt Wardlow, power bombs Max straight to bloody hell.
And do you recall us having a conversation about the different layers that MJF was going through because he had Wardlow gunning for him. He was
Yep.
dealing with Joe and Jay White.
Mm-hmm.
He was dealing with Roddy and the Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's funny how that all came together. It looked like it was just like chaotic booking,
Mm-hmm.
but when you see the reveal, you see what the group is.
Yeah.
That's been fucking with Max,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the exact same group of guys that I mentioned to you about a month and a half ago.
Right around that time I did that video, because in the video that the short that we did,
Yeah, yeah.
I got the name. I was right on Cole. I was right on Roderick Strong. I thought it was going to be Kyle O'Reilly. I didn't.
A lot of people thought it was Kyle
But
O'Reilly,
we
but
also said too, if it's not Kyle O'Reilly, it's probably because of his back
his
surgery.
neck.
His neck surgery that went through. But
So he's very like, as you want to be with that type of injury,
cautious.
very cautious, and I think it's still touch and go on if and when Kyle O'Reilly can come back.
He has been. It has been heard that he has actually been backstage at AEW events. So we don't know how close he may be coming back, but he could just be there also visiting friends and getting updates and seeing doctors for all we know.
Right.
So that was AEW's final preview of the year. That was World's End. Uh, Adam Cole was the devil. Samoa Joe's your new champ. I'm personally very happy to see Samoa Joe get that world title in AEW. I
Me
think he's
too.
good. And his what he mentioned in the press conference was actually really comical. He's like, basically called out the whole locker room.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I found was really funny, he said, he goes, I see all these people calling out everybody, but nobody ever seems to want to call out me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a valid point. Like, I mean, what was the last person you saw call out Joe who wasn't named Kurt Angle? And that was in TNA years ago.
Roman Reigns, maybe.
I don't think Reigns ever wrestled Samoa Joe in WWE.
Yeah, he did. Joe put him to sleep.
That was probably on Raw.
Yeah, it was on Raw.
Yeah, but like,
you know that clip that circulates online of like Samoa Joe basically making Brock Lesnar his bitch on a microphone?
yeah.
Okay, so the context of that is like Joe had already beaten Roman and he had went after Brock. That was the night after that Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, that terrible pay-per-view.
But no, I'm really glad to see Joe finally get a big win because I was starting to, and I was talking to somebody about this on Discord. And you know, I've been watching Samoa Joe since
I was this TNA for me.
the beginning of his TNA career.
Yeah, I remember when he first came in. He was probably about 40 pounds lighter too.
Yeah, of course, but
he's really filled out though. Like he really has. Like he's got way more muscle on him now than he did back
sure.
then. Like,
But like to watch everything he did, go to WWE, and just he was never given the chance because he couldn't stay healthy.
yeah, that's kind of that's one of the things about his WWE run that a lot of people seem to not remember or tend to
Is he
forget.
was hurt for a lot of it.
Yeah, a lot of it's like his NXT run was much better than his main roster run, because his main roster run he was hurt a lot, whereas NXT run he was more there because they did mostly filming at that time. They still do actually do more filming than actually live events. So.
Right. So, anyways, to see this go down, really cool.
Yeah, I'm happy with Joe. I'm not upset with it at all.
The last thing I want to talk about AEW, then we'll quickly get into Raw.
Yeah.
From tonight is like, so where does this leave MJF? Now, if we're taking everything at face value, he would have became a free agent as of midnight yesterday.
Yeah.
And so I think he'd be silly not to hear out WWE. At least listen.
I'm sure.
Because like he said, he's in this for the money. He has been very transparent about that.
Well, for a guy who's in it for the money, he could really go.
100%,
Right?
because
It's like Brock. Brock is in it for
right,
strictly for the money. But the thing about Brock is that Brock's a freak. Brock can go do. Brock can out wrestle half those guys legitimately. And I'm not even like talking like as like just as a regular wrestler. He can legitimately out wrestle you. Like
in WWE right now, there's literally two guys I think that would be on par with Brock Lesnar in an amateur wrestling setting, and that's Bobby Lashley and that's Chad Gable.
yeah, for sure. Those are the only two guys.
Because
And like if like we've seen Lashley versus Brock, it was just kind of just like what it was.
that was a pro wrestling style match, but I think amateur wrestling, those two would be a fucking scrap.
Oh, I think you gotta wonder who'd win that. I mean, like Kurt Angle's gone on record as saying that Brock Lesnar, like him and Brock Lesnar had an actual wrestling match, like and
Hmm.
Kurt apparently won it, but it wasn't by much.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but that's also Brock's also got like Brock is more like with Lashley and Brock in an actual wrestling match.
They like
The size is the same. Like there's no
pretty
real
much.
like you're maybe off by about 5 pounds, and both those guys 5 pounds to both those guys is nothing.
I mean, like Lashley's like probably 280, 285, and Brock's probably around 285.
Brock walks around probably, but yeah, but Brock probably walks around 260 between 265 and 285, probably more than
Right.
likely.
Well, yeah. I
Like
mean,
I think he said on Pat McAfee show he's got like a 52-inch chest, like or something
mhm,
like that. Like it's huge. Like
right.
like
But
at one point out mine was at 48. And that's probably smaller now.
that's that's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Anyways,
I see this going two ways for Max.
yep,
He shocks everybody and shows up in the Royal Rumble.
that's a possibility.
Or he did re-sign with AEW or is going to re-sign with AEW.
Yep.
He's going to take maybe even the first half of this year off.
But he's been a workhorse for the whole year, right? For the past year, a bit, he's been a
He
workhorse.
he has killed it ever since he came back at All Out last
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
He has absolutely killed it.
yeah,
Um, in both character work and in ring work.
yeah.
Like, and
He's
he
a
is
he's literally a student of the game.
for sure.
He is like if you not to quote Triple H, but he is like the Triple H of this time now. He
That's
quotes he just follows wrestling and watches
that's a
everything.
very fair comparison.
Yeah, because Triple H was one of those guys who studies
Except
everything, and you tell he knows what he's doing.
except by MJF's own admission, he's like 5'7". Triple H is like 6'3".
No, no, he might be my yeah, he might be. But yeah,
But
like
anyways,
they
like
they
so
both study. The point is they both study and they both learn their crafts to the point where they're generals in the ring.
now you can play this one of two ways.
Mm-hmm.
If he is bad, if he is so if he does do the at this point unthinkable
Mm-hmm.
and signs with WWE,
Yeah.
you can play Adam Cole and the Devils as the ones that ran MJF out of the company.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
Or MJF was so distraught after that he had to go away.
Mm-hmm.
Or if he resigned, then you have Cole and company just run roughshod until about Double or Nothing in May or
Mm-hmm.
June, whenever it is this year. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And Cole's going after the world title, whether that's still with Samoa Joe or it's somebody else.
I think Joe has a long title reign, so I think I think if anything, if Max is off, Cole versus Joe at Double or Nothing, and that's when we may see Max's return.
Yeah, and that's what I was.
And he costs Cole.
Yeah, that's what I was about to allude to.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,